All right, Jesse on Fire, welcome back to the channel. Now, I am doing something that I very rarely do. So, Diego Sanchez is in the hospital, very serious case of COVID. I just did a very long live stream about it, and I actually just did another video about an article that Bloody Elbow wrote about this, and I went off. Maybe I'll cut a couple clips from that video into this one. That's your fucking headline. Diego Sanchez is an idiot. He's still not sold on the jab. Okay? Fuck these guys. Okay? I'm being totally serious. Fuck these guys. I'll tell you what my point was there, and I'll tell you what the point of this video is. Okay? I actually don't know if they were saying what I think they were saying. Okay? Because basically, Diego is in a very serious situation. He's basically fighting for his life. He's got pneumonia. He's got blood clots in his legs. A very, very serious case of the virus. And you know, he's been very public about his jab status. And I want to take this moment actually right now to you know, extend the invitation to as many people as possible to go on his Instagram and show support, because he posted, he's being very engaging there. He's definitely reading all the comments, and the majority of people, at least when I was on in the middle of the night, I mean, I saw this in the middle of the night. You know, I saw Dr. Bo Hightower, the best chiropractic YouTube channel in the game, son. He posted in the middle of the night, you know, send Diego some love, send my boy Diego some love. And I think that actually speaks very highly of his character, Dr. Bo's character, because unless I've been reading his point, he's pretty good at posting topics that are going to drive engagement. He's excellent at driving engagement, but posting topics and kind of leaving his opinion out of the, out of there so that people will talk. But unless I've been reading his points wrong, I'm pretty sure that he's a relatively strong jab advocate. And Diego has been very public about not taking the jab. And when it comes down to Diego's in the hospital, he's very sick. You know, Dr. Bo posted this and said, show my boy some support. He's fighting. And obviously that conversation about get it, don't get it, not a thing. Because that's what a person with strong character does when their friend is in trouble, when anyone's in trouble, when someone needs help, right? Or someone needs support. You leave that nonsense at the door, especially nonsense that's driven by divisive media coverage of things. Like, that doesn't have a place there at all. You know, Diego, Hall of Fame UFC fighter, who he's boys with, who I feel connected to also. I talked to him on Instagram. We saw the Born Identity together, or whatever the last one is. We went to see the Born Supremacy together. And, I just want him to get better. I am smart enough to know that I'm not smart enough to have an opinion on the jab that anyone should listen to. So my opinion on it is irrelevant because it's not a well-informed one, you know. But what I am well-informed about is people in general, and how you can pick out what people's motivations are, what kind of person they are, what type of character they have, etc. Dr. Bo Hightower demonstrated very strong character. Some other people in the comments, same. Blind support for Diego, that's the correct answer, right? You could talk about his jab status some other time after he recovers, right? And if you took a moment right there to be self-righteous, you know, well, this is what happens. People need to know, you know, you don't get the jab, this is what happens. Take that shit and fuck off, okay? I called someone a self-righteous prick in the comments, and I don't call people names in comment sections, even when I argue, dude. But that guy, that kind of stuff, man, like, just tactless. Absolutely no tact. Like, he's literally, like, what gets lost in the weeds in these situations is that there's a real person on the other end of these things. Like, Diego is a real person. He's in the hospital. He's reading these comments. I know he's reading these comments. He responded to mine. He's reading them. And your contribution was to shame him, or to shame him and all of those that are like him. Well, see, look at this, huh? Look at what happened here. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It'd be the exact same as if someone, got the jab and they were one of the rare people who had some kind of complication, and then a bunch of, people who were against it, when the person's literally like, I know this is really rare. I got the thing and this happened and now I'm really struggling and yada yada. And like a bunch of people went on and say, see, this is what happens when you listen to the blah blah blah. It's like, dude, are you serious? Like, this is not the time for that. Like, this isn't the time for that. And people's motivations to me are so transparent. It's like, it's actually painful sometimes. I could just see exactly what's driving everybody all the time. And it's a gift and a curse. It's a gift and a curse. I have certain substances that I can't ingest because it enhances it so much that it's overwhelming to the point that it's uncomfortable. It's a substance that Joe Rogan likes a lot. And it's basically, it's untenable for me for that reason. Because I just look at people and I see everything that's driving their car, and I can literally getting anxiety even thinking about it. But like in this case, it's not rocket science, dude. What's driving your car? Like, this is an argument that you find a way to jump into this argument every single day. Every single day, you're looking for a way for you to vomit, and you're like, are you an epidemiologist? No? Okay, so why are you doing this? Like, why are you doing this? You're trapped in a dopamine loop, dude. You don't know anything about the virus. You don't know shit about this other than what you read someone else wrote. So stop acting like a fucking expert, okay? You're not an expert. If I had you only read the stuff that Diego had read, you'd probably have some, different ideas. And that's not because his are correct and yours are incorrect. It's because your ideas aren't original. So stop fucking acting like they are. Okay? Because that has nothing to do with helping anyone, nothing. You're doing a holier than thou thing. You're doing a self-righteous nonsense thing. It's gross. Now, that being my opinion, send Diego your best. That is what you should do. That is what I did, and I suggest you guys do it too. Now, the Bloody Elbow article, okay? So, I did a video that was on a 10 because they wrote. Okay, so here's how I saw it. Here's how I originally saw it. Diego Sanchez, Hall of Fame UFC fighter, in the hospital, fighting for his life. Bloody Elbow, same media outlet that wrote the smear campaign on Joe Rogan after Joe Rogan said that he had taken, ivermectin to recover from the virus. And all of a sudden, they had to do this big smear campaign, and it was such a transparent, let's get him fired. We need to shut his voice down. It was so obvious. And I lit them up for that. Okay. So the same outlet. So I will acknowledge that I was already mad about people using this moment to shame Diego or whatever. Like, that shit really, it's like sticking a fork into a light socket with me. Like, stuff like that really pisses me off. In either direction. This is not I have this opinion and so it's not that. It's about people dehumanizing each other to win arguments, So I went in with a bias for sure, but I read the Bloody Elbow headline. Okay, it's an MMA outlet. Diego Sanchez, Hall of Fame fighter, fighting for his life. Okay, has COVID, has pneumonia, has blood clots. Okay, what's the headline? Right? Like, what's your headline going to be? How about Diego Sanchez, UFC Hall of Famer, hospitalized, COVID complications, pneumonia, and blood clots? How about that? How about that's your headline, right? Their headline was Diego Sanchez, even with pneumonia and blood clots from COVID-19, still not, quote, sold on the vaccine. And I read that as them shaming Diego and calling him an idiot for not having gotten the jab. And I mean, maybe if I remember, I'll put some clips in so you won't have to imagine what my video was. But I went at a 10. And I suggested that no one ever read their shit ever again. And I suggested they're bad people, partisan ideologues, that I know every single thing that they think about everything now. Like a person who would do that headline, I literally know every single thing that you think about everything now. You're a drone, basically my point. And just as I was uploading it, my mom called me And I was talking to her about Diego, and she's like, "What are you doing? Why aren't you listening to me?" And I told her I was doing this video, and I read her the headline. And my mom, if they were like, "Here, get 58 boosters a week," she would do it. So she's very much on, but she just went, she's like, "Wait, so I don't understand." I'm like, "What do you mean you don't understand?" She's like, what's their point? Which side are they on?" And I was like, "Are you serious? They're shaming him for that. They're shaming Diego. They're saying, look at this idiot. Like, look at this idiot who's in the hospital, pneumonia and blood clots, and he's still not quote sold on getting the jab." I'm like, it's misplaced, bad timing, and it's insulting. Like, why wouldn't they just wait till he got, like, if they want to write that shit, wait till he's at least recovered. And she's like, "Oh, I actually read that and didn't have any idea which way they were going. Like, maybe they're on the other side, and they were just saying, like, even though he has this, he's still not sold that the jab was the right choice." And I was like, shit. And I read the article. She's right. She's 100% right. It doesn't take a position. It really doesn't. It just says, even though this and this, so I am acknowledging before, like, my own bias influenced how I read that article. I mean, I went hard on this video, dude. I went hard on this video. And my mom put bifocals on and was like, that is not, I mean, maybe that's how they meant it, but that's very much not clear by what they said. And I read it again, and I was like, fuck, she's right, dude. She's right. They were stating a fact. What's funny, actually, is I did a live stream, and someone in the live stream was like, before I filmed the video, they're all, "What are you talking about? They're just stating a fact." And I was like, "Oh yeah." I'm like, "Well, so," I think it was Joel Cooter, and I was like, "Oh yeah." I'm like, "So, like, let's pretend I was doing a fact about you." And I was like, "Hey, Joel Cooter," like, they were like, "Hey, do an article about Joel Cooter and his life." And I'm like, "Okay." And I made my headline, "Joel Cooter has a 6mm dick." Like, that's a fact, but it's a fact I chose to make the headline. Versus Joel Cooter has a wife and children that he loves very much. I chose he's got a 6-inch dick. No one can figure out how he got his wife pregnant, as opposed to the other way, because I was trying to make you look bad. So I apologize for that comment. You were right, dude. You were right. They were just stating a fact, and they actually didn't take a side. So I assumed that was the side there. I still think that's probably what they were doing, because I'm used to media sources being snarky and talking down at everybody who is not doing what they want them to do. But I can absolutely acknowledge I am hypersensitive, and my bias for sure influenced how I read that. But again, it's not about the jab or not the jab. I do not like people telling people what to do, man. I do not like it. I don't like it at all. You know, that's all it is like, people should be able to, do research, make their own choices, live with the consequences. It's that simple. So, I think there's just so much data out there, and it all lacks context, man. Like, I was just talking about this morning. You got all these soccer players that are just like keeling over and dying of cardiac arrest in soccer games. Like, literally just like run, keel over, die. Or run, heart attack. Run, heart attack. 500% increase this year. Fact. And that's something that the Diego side is hanging on to real hard, where they're like, look at all these guys just keeling over and dying. Like, what's different this year? And I pointed out that lacks context, dude. Because I haven't seen anything where they go, every single one of them had gotten the jab, right? And if you haven't done that correlation, then you know what you might be looking at? Every single one of them might have recovered from the virus. And it might be that the virus eats its way into their heart. You don't know. Like, you just don't know. The smartest people I know say I don't know a lot. They say it a lot. And I don't know. But all I do know is I know what criteria I should be looking for in how I make decisions. That's what I know. And I know that if Bloody Elbow meant to insult Diego while he's in a hospital bed, then fuck them. And if they didn't, then this is me apologizing for an extraordinarily angry and super mean video that I made that I am not posting now. But if that is what you meant to do, go ahead and put it in the comments, and I'll post that one. And you guys will be like, whoa. He was angry. Anyway, that's what I've got. So subscribe to the channel and ring the bell. Peace.